Hello and welcome to Beyond Tomorrow at Scanautomatic and Process Technology 2024. My name is Nicole Safai and I work with life science and cybersecurity at Plant Vision. For this episode, I'm joined in the studio by Jiunn-Jer Sun, who is a certified senior cybersecurity expert at Phoenix Contact. Welcome, JJ. Perhaps you can start by telling us a little bit about who you are, your background and experience, and what you're working with today.
Oh, thank you, Nico. Hello, everyone. My name is JJ, and I'm the network and cybersecurity specialist from Phoenix Contact. And a little bit my background is I have been doing industrial network and also cybersecurity so far for almost 20 years. And I'm very happy to be here, sharing here in the podcast to share my experience. And also, I'm very much into if someone who listen to our podcast and give us some feedback, I'm very much to learn to each other.
Yeah, great. So it's going to be very interesting to have this podcast with you. The topic is IoT security, the myth, the truth, and advice. How did you come up with this topic, and what would you say is the key message you want to deliver to the audience?
Thank you. I think the key message here is I'm actually come to here to ring the alarm, because I think most of us in the industry, for example, for machine builders, for system integrators, for asset owners, they have a system or have a machine running, and most of them, I mean, nowadays, who does not have IoT in the system, in the machine? So I'm here to ring the alarm to give them a warning that, hey, please think about cybersecurity. Because, for example, IoT, we talk about different kind of IoT application. That can be, for example, the simplest one, for example, pushing data to the cloud, doing data analysis and showing to remote like visualization, or another type of application that can be remote access. So make easy for a technician to connect remotely to the machine or system to do technical support. So these kind of things, we use those kind of technology almost more or less every day. And that is very critical for us because we see more and more security issues, especially attack to automation control systems. And when you think about this, and that's actually a bigger risk for us, because IoT and security, these two terms are actually very conflicting terms. There's a lot of conflict between them. Yes.
Yeah, that's very interesting. I agree with you. So you speak about IoT versus security. What would you say are the conflicts?
Oh, okay. So IoT and security, some people even told me that you should not put these two together. Because, these two terms present two big market trend, two big mega trend, because they share one thing in common, that is these two things actually covers a lot of sectors, cross sector, a lot of industry. So I think more or less every industry or every sector need or follow the market trend. They implement IoT, and now they will need security. That's the only thing they in common. But the conflict thing is, when we implement IoT, I think that was 10 or 15 years ago, and these kind of things, when we implement to our machine, our system, we think about, we want to connect to internet. We want our data sent to the cloud. So we need some device so that's collecting the data, sent to cloud. It has to be open, and then it has to be easy to use, because we have so many machines, so many systems. And when they choose the supplier always tell them, hey, you see this, we have a nice looking platform, easy to use. And it's so at that time, the focus is on the cloud, because we want a fancy cloud application. We want a beautiful graphic visualization, things like that. But compared to cybersecurity, the story is totally different, because when we talk about cybersecurity, it's not only the cloud, it's also about the component, what component you are using, if the component is secure or not, or if the cloud is secure or not. So every time when I talk about cybersecurity, I think cybersecurity need a holistic approach. Yeah, and if you think about a little bit deeper, then I think there wasn't any regulation that put restriction to IoT. The saying that you cannot do this and cannot do that. But when we comes to security, there are a lot of restrictions we need to follow. For example, there's a new EU directive, S2, or for example, CRA, the Resilience Act, and also IC 443 standard, this kind of thing that put a lot of restrictions to the system. So it's very, very different. One talk about open innovation, another one is a restriction, closed, and you follow the restrictions. So meeting these two is actually a very challenging thing. And unfortunately, when the user, most of the users nowadays, when they implemented the IoT, those kind of solution in their machine systems, they did not think about cybersecurity. And even until now, they still have the misunderstanding about their solution. They still thought, because I think my system is secure. Yeah, I think that's the biggest risk. Yeah.
So that's interesting. You mentioned the misunderstanding, or if you would like, the myth of IoT security. What would you say is the misunderstanding?
Yeah, I think the misunderstanding is, I just simply put, most users, they misunderstand or they thought their solution is secure. That is because their supplier told them the solution is secure. For example, when we use VPN, remote access, so everyone, when they choose VPN, they say, hey, we have like a 266-bit, very, very long encryption, long key. That's very secure, right? So a user, if they are not like technical expert, they don't really dig into detail, they think, this is secure. So I think this is kind of misunderstanding. And also when they try to choose the product, or they read, for example, like a website, data sheet, or for example, the white papers that supplier offer to them, the supplier tell them, my solution is secure. So I have to say, not completely, not completely, right? Yeah. So that's the thing the user need to learn or need to be aware of the truth.
Okay, so that makes a lot of sense. Then following on from that, what is the truth then, would you say?
Good question. So when it comes to truth, I mean, I would prefer, rather than I tell the audience, I tell all you who are listening to us, rather than I tell you what is the truth, I think it's better that you learn how to find out what is the truth, right? You have to learn how to do it. So I would like to say, it's a simple way to explain this. So just follow the industrial cybersecurity standard for automation control systems, that is IEC 6443. In this standard, actually, that gives us a very, very good direction how to understand or how to analyze your system or your solution, if that is secure or not. For example, we talk about the standard. The standard actually break down cybersecurity into three levels. So the top level is policy and procedure. Okay, so if your company or if your supplier's company follow the security procedure to develop the product, to produce the product, okay, how they, for example, operate the cloud, they follow a secure procedure, okay, do they have a good policy? So this is one side. And on the second level is about system security. Okay, so when the supplier gives to you, it's not just an IoT gateway or IoT edge computer. It's not only a simple box. It's also a system. So include the IoT box and also the cloud and also the remote, for example, laptop or workstation. All together, we call this is a system, right? So in a system, how do you analyze if it is secure or not? And then the bottom layer is the component. So each single component, you should think about, is it secure or not? For example, your IoT box, is it secure or not? Or for example, very often our IoT supplier, when they tell you, hey, our security IoT is very secure, and then they give you a small box, simple small, hey, say, use this box and connect to our cloud, and you have everything digitalized and it's secure. So please think about this on the three different layers. Yeah, so I think this is the way we can analyze if the solution is secure or not. And especially I will highlight regarding to IoT, we see a lot of security risk threats. So that's why the IEC 6443 working group is working on a new technical document, to a new technical report we call IEC 6443-1-6. So this is a new document, especially addressed on this topic.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so you speak about documents and standards. I was thinking, could you please explain the IEC 62443-1-6 standard a bit more?
Yeah, yes, because this is a quite new technical document, or we say technical report, and this document actually address on IoT security. And simply put, this document has two parts. So the first part, it talks about, give you an idea what is the risk. So if you have IoT in your system, so what is the risk in your system? Okay. And then the second part is based on the understanding or what we know the risk, what is the answer? What is the answer? So for example, like first part. So in the document, it explains why IoT brings risk to your machine. That is because IoT actually connect to internet. That's the first one, and that create backdoor. I think many people already understand. But more serious is because in the past, when we design or implement a machine or system, we basically follow a structure. So we call this produce model, and this structure has different layers. For example, levels: level 1, 0, level 1, level 2, level 3. So at the bottom level, we have the I/O, sensors, aggregators, this kind of edge device. And level 1, we have the basic control like PLC controllers. And level 2, we have this, for example, touch panel or SCADA systems. So it follows a structure. And by following the structure, we can do, for example, secure in-depth, multi-layer or defense or secure in-depth. But when you put in an IoT, for example, gateway or computer inside your automation control system, that actually breaks down the boundary, breaks down the levels, because very often we have an IoT device connect to the end device. Also, at the same time, it sends data to the cloud. And even worse, that the IoT gateway or IoT edge device might connect to more than one levels. So actually, it can bypass your secure mechanisms, access control or restrictions that can bypass your security mechanism. So that's the risk what we are talking about. So that's why I think the second part of this document, it highlights how to deal with this. And especially it talks about, for example, using zero trust into your machine or into your system.
Okay, yeah. So for anyone who doesn't know about zero trust, what would you say zero trust is, and how would you say that it applies to industrial automation control systems?
Yes, I think zero trust is maybe it's not new for the IT, but they want to bring this concept into OT environment. Okay, but zero trust is something, we say a concept is never trust, always verify. That means whoever want to access a system or a machine, so either your employee or, for example, the outside technical support, whoever want to access the system, you have to do authentication first to verify who is accessing and give the person least privilege. So give the minimum to them. So simply put, in a more security term, is authentication, authorization, and the least privilege. That's the basic concept of zero trust. And nowadays we see there are suppliers, zero trust supplier, who also want to jump into this OT market to make OT system more secure by using zero trust. And their approach is they host a zero trust cloud. Okay, and the users who can purchase their service and implement the zero trust policy in the cloud. So, for example, in a factory, we have factory workers, we have a PLC or controller as a component, hardware components, for example, and also maybe software applications running on workstations or even data. And another side, you have administrators, okay, sitting in the office maybe, using their phone, for example, using their pad or office computer. So whoever want to access the factory, whoever want to access the machine, goes to the cloud first, and the cloud will do authentication, and then give the authorized access the remote machine. So the authentication and the least privilege is very much based on the cloud itself. So that sounds a very good solution for IoT, because more or less everything is restricted. But still, there are some challenges if you think about how it applies to our OT systems. I would like to highlight, for example, zero. What do you mean? What does zero mean to you? Zero, right? For example, it's only one system, that's a zero, or a small part of a system, or a single device, single component, or a software, or some function in the software, or even a piece of data in the software. So this is how, to what extent that is zero. So it's very hard. And I would say nowadays still our OT component in the industry, we cannot support this kind of feature, not yet. So it's a challenge to implement zero trust still at the moment.
Yeah, and that makes a lot of sense. And listening to what you're talking about, there must be challenges. What would you say are these challenges, and could you suggest something for the audience?
Yeah, I think still at the moment we have to think about, of course, zero trust sounds a good answer to the challenge, to the security, IoT security. But I think also in the standard, it also highlight one thing. Maybe just one sentence, the reader might just overlook it. But I would like to highlight the sentence. In the standard, it says, zero trust is not going to replace the Purdue model, so the legacy structure we had before. Zero trust should be kind of add-on. Okay, so based on what we have in the past, the security mechanism in the past, try to think about zero trust to make the system even better. So normally I explain this like this. So when you want to build security, imagine, for example, you yourself is a king or queen. So you want to protect yourself or your queen or even your princess. So for sure you want to build a castle, right? And the castle has walls. The more layers of walls, you feel more safe, isn't it? So that is the structure. That is the fundamental thing. Okay, and based on that, you can add on some more security features. For example, access control. You cannot go through the door, this door or that door. You can go into this room or not this room. Or, for example, if you want, you can install IP camera on the castle, right? So those things are add-on. But without the castle, you have access control and a camera. That means the value is very, very low, right? It brings no value to you. You need a castle. That's why the standard tells us we should base on the fundamental thing. So follow IEC 64443, the Purdue model, what we have done before. Try to make a good network structure and then add on zero trust solution. That is a more practical advice.
Yeah, so I really like how you explained about the castle. Makes it easier to understand and follow. But if we follow on from that, if our audience wants to protect their system, how should they start?
Good question. I think this is why I'm here. Also, that makes my position more sense, because my role is network and cybersecurity specialist in a company. And my main task for our customer is trying to help them to review their network structure. Also give them some advice based on cybersecurity. So that's my main task. So this is what I'm doing. So I will help our customer to review the network diagram. So are you following the standard to design your system? Okay. Are you following the standard, for example, IEC 4316? So we talk about IoT security. Have you done a good network segmentation so that you break down your system or break down your machine into zones or even smaller cell? Okay, and if you can break down the system into smaller part, that means you are, to a certain extent, you are more close to zero, right? If you separate the zone, or you separate a system into smaller zone or cell, that becomes we are getting closer to zero. So that means you have a good structure. Then you don't need 100% rely on zero trust supplier, which based on the cloud. So you can do zero trust on site, locally on site. I think that's a starting point. And then think about using, for example, open platform, edge computer or edge IoT gateway. Nowadays, there are many IoT computers, but looking for open platform. So, for example, like for this content, we offer open platform. So that means if you want in the future, you can add on zero trust features into the IoT gateway. So you have a very solid fundamental structure, and then you have the chance to make your system better, add on the zero trust features in the future, or even if you want to do it now, we can offer it. So that's why I'm here. I'm telling our audience, okay, welcome to contact me. You can. I will more than happy to review your system and give our advice. And we offer a wide range of products to enhance your security. Yes.
Okay, wonderful. It really is a super interesting topic, and we could probably keep talking about it for another hour. But I'm thinking it's time to try to wrap things up. It might be good if we try to summarize what we talked about. So what would you say shortly is the most important thing our listeners should take away with them?
Thank you, Nico. I think I also thank you for all audience spend your time to be with us, and I hope all you have this get some good ideas, and so that you can start to think about is my IoT enabled machine or IoT enabled system, is it secure or not? Should I review it? Yeah, I'm more than happy to start to think about this. And if you don't review all, from my point of view, it's a kind of risk. So start to review. And if you need help, come to us. I think that's, So don't forget IoT and security. We have to find a good balance between these two complex mega trends.
Yeah, perfect. Thank you so much, JJ, for joining us today and sharing your knowledge and insights.
Thank you, Nico.
And also thanks to all of our listeners. I hope you gained some useful insights and inspiration to help you on your digitalization journey with process and automation.
Den här sändningen är producerad av Brandvision AB för Scanautomatic och processteknikmässan 2024. Du kan läsa mer om oss och komma i kontakt med våra experter genom att besöka oss på webben www.brandvision.se. Där hittar du även vår huvudpoddkanal Beyond Tomorrow med flera intressanta samtal. Stort tack för att du lyssnade.